Hi, welcome to SweetOnion.Net. I'm Niveen Saleh, and today I want to talk to you about water kefir. Why should you care about this? There are two reasons. Number one, it's a refreshing drink. And number two, it helps you keep your intestines healthy. Our intestines are populated by many trillions of beneficial microbes. These are tiny organisms that live in a symbiotic relationship with us, meaning we keep them happy and they help us stay healthy. What's their role in keeping us healthy, you might wonder? They help us break down complex carbohydrates and they support our immune system. In case you didn't know, our intestines contain more immune cells than the entire rest of our body. And these microbes support our immune system by keeping the bad bugs out. I want to talk to you about welcoming these microbes into your intestines. A natural way of doing so is by ingesting probiotics. These can be found in fermented foods such as yogurt or kefir. Kefir tastes a little bit like yogurt added to milk or like buttermilk. Now, as you can tell, these are all dairy products. So what are you going to do if you're lactose intolerant or if you live on a plant-based diet and you don't want to consume milk product? Are you forced to buy expensive probiotic pills? No, you're not. And this is where my little friends, the water kefir grains, come in. Instead of metabolizing lactose, which is milk sugar, they digest a mixture of glucose and fructose, table sugar. And in the process, these kefir colonies leave tiny little critters behind in the solution in which they live. You ingest the solution, which you can see right here, and as a result, some of those microbes will find their way into your intestines to support your immune system. Let me now show you how to prepare water kefir. I have here half a cup of kefir grains, and they've been actually living with me for 2.5 years. I'm now going to get some sugar and a spoon. And as you can see, this sugar is brown. It's not brown sugar, it's turbinado sugar. It is a more unprocessed sugar form than regular table sugar, and it contains minerals that the kefir grains like. If you don't have access to turbinado sugar, which you typically can get in the bulk section of your grocery store, you can use table sugar, but this is better. So you have the sugar, then you take a cup, and we're going to add 6 tablespoons of that sugar to the cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The next thing we need is water. And in order to prepare the water, I took some water from the tap, I put it into a pot, and I brought the water to a boil in order to eliminate the chlorine, because water kefir does not like chlorine, it hurts it. And then I let the water come back down to room temperature. So that's what I have here. I will now add some of the water to the sugar. Got 2 cups here, sugar water, and now I just stir and stir until the sugar is dissolved or almost dissolved. We might not get it perfectly right. All right, good enough for now. At home, you might want to stir just a little bit longer. So we've got that. Now we need a glass jar. And this jar holds 6 cups or a little bit more. I put the kefir grains into the jar, and I want to make sure that I get every single kefir grain in there because I really like them and I don't want any one of them to get lost. So we have a little more here. Nothing hanging on my fingers. And now I take the sugar water and pour it over the grains. Add some more water in order to eliminate the sugar from the glass cup. And a little bit more to fill the whole thing up. Now what you have here is half a cup of kefir grains, 6 tablespoons of sugar, 6 cups of water. That is the mixture that you need. And now you want to close this whole thing up in order to prevent mosquitoes from paying your solution a visit. And the way you do this is by using a coffee filter, which I have right here. Put that coffee filter on top, and then I take first a loose ribbon that's easy to affix but doesn't hold very much. And then I tighten it up with a tighter ribbon. Now, why do you want to use a coffee filter rather than just putting a lid on? The reason is that your kefir grains breathe, and you need what they breathe out to be able to leave the glass jar. That's why you use this coffee filter. And now I will put the solution into the cupboard where it'll stay up to 4 days. Time to harvest our kefir. Now remember, you do not have to wait 4 days. You can harvest them after 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, but 4 days is the maximum amount of time my grains like to live in the solution before having it changed. When exactly you harvest your grains depends on how tart you like your beverage. If you get it out after 1 day, it will be sweeter and less tart than if you harvest it after 4 days. Let's now get the grains out of the cupboard. And here we have the lovely ferment. So now what we do is we simply remove the coffee filter. We take this bottle, a funnel to prevent spillage, a strainer to prevent any kefir grains from escaping, and then we simply pour the solution over it. All right, and we have a little left over. I will pour that into a glass that I will consume in just a little bit. I now put the beverage into the fridge. What I would like to point out to you is that even though this bottle comes with a top, I'm not going to put it on. And the reason is that what's inside this bottle are living creatures, and they're going to continue to breathe. So you do not want to close it off. The next step is to wipe down this jar, clean it out a little bit. And then you're ready to start all over with a mixture of 6 cups of water and 6 tablespoons of sugar. That's how easy it is. The most important thing, you may wonder, what does water kefir taste like? I would say it tastes a little bit like apple cider. And the longer you culture it, the more sugar gets eliminated from the solution and the tartar it becomes. And where did I get my grains? From the website culturesforhealth.com. Happy and healthy drinking.